What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are going to take a look at the X-Men in raids and see if they are good or not. But before that, I want to say thanks to everyone who watched my last video of the X-Men versus the Black Order, X-Men offense, Black Order on defense on Alliance Wars. And I got some feedback that the thumbnails and the titles of these videos of war are not so good, so I'll try to improve on that in the future. I also want to say thanks to everyone who has joined my Discord recently, and also thanks to Gregory Nasdem for the donation he sent me offline without a message, and thank you very much, I really appreciate that. So yeah, let's take a look at the X-Men in action. Okay, so here we are on the gamma raids. We are going to do all nodes that we can make with the X-Men, and then we'll go till the end and see if they are good or not, to take a conclusion if this team is actually good for raiding, if it's going to be any useful based on this experience for Ultimo 7 or not, and if the characters have enough synergy that makes them reliable for this raid, especially in the future that the difficulty selector will come for the gamma raids, the alpha raids, the beta raids, and so on. Where are the delta raids? Come on, we know they are coming somewhere. And then see if if this team is reliable enough to use on these different raids, especially on the Greek raids. But then we'll make also a conclusion about the Ultimo 7. So yeah, this was the team I was taking: Cyclops, Storm, Psylocke, Beast, and Colossus. Now, I have to note that my team is very under level. This event, this raid, is for level 65 and above. Most of my team is at level 60, and they are only at gear tier 10. The recommended gear for this raid is 11 and above or 12 and above. So yeah, let's speed up this a little bit. Now, one thing about these raids is that you need to know who to kill, and that's very important. You want to kill the Merc Lieutenants first, you want to kill the Groots first, so they don't give buffs, so they don't remove debuffs, and so on. And yeah, so I did the taunt there with Colossus. Now we need to get rid of Drax, so I decided to slow everyone, so it gives us more time to prepare our team. We have everyone with deflect, and the purpose of having Colossus and Psylocke and everyone is so we have counters, we have dodges, we have assists, we have speed up, and if you can apply to the enemies slow, that's going to be a huge advantage. You always want enemies with slow, you with speed up, and yeah. So we try to only use Storm to apply slow. If we are lucky, we will not spend the charges. I don't know why that is not guaranteed, but it's only 50% chance. So we'll use her to apply slow. And why it's 8 energy? It's ridiculous. Apply slow. With Colossus, we are going to apply offense down to characters that do a lot of damage. So you have to have all these things into consideration in case you are really thinking about using this team in raiding. And the other thing that you need to consider is to use the T4 on Beast ultimate, otherwise you'll not have enough healing to sustain you in the long term. So there you go. So with the speed ups and the slowdowns, Beast was able to do his second healing on the special. That's pretty good. I also wish that Beast would remove buffs from the enemies, but as it seems, this is not the final raid team. So let's see what comes in the future and what synergies change. And yeah, so we have the second taunt once again with Colossus. It was only one enemy left, so no point in using it. So yeah, first node, easy mode. We have most of our characters pretty healthy. They are not maxed, but they are pretty healthy, so we can continue without doing any heal ups and so on. Okay, so now we have Star-Lord, we have Storm, we have Gamora, we have so many enemies that are scary, and their beast almost dying, so very very scary. So we need to get rid of all this burst damage. This node is very difficult because there is so much burst damage, and once again, everyone, like Beast, he only has 3 stars. The other ones, they have 6 stars or 7, but not max, like I said. Some of them level 60, and that makes a huge difference because the amount of armor you have is not adjusted, the amount of resistance you have is not adjusted. But look at the amount of buffs we have right now on Beast: counter, dodge, offense up, defense up, deflects, assist, speed up, regen. It's just insane. Now heals himself up, heals Colossus, and does a nice amount of damage to the enemies. Once again, Beast is at 3 stars. Imagine this guy at 7 yellow stars. It's gonna be so good, and we can already see that this guy is very promising for the difficulty selector on the raid, the Greek raids. There I used Storm so we can get rid of all that burst damage and gives us a little bit more time for Colossus to heal up and so on. He has insane amount of dodges, but right now he doesn't have defense up. Of course, dodge is better than defense up, unless you are taking multiple attacks, which was not the case. So another node done, the second node, and the team is doing pretty well. This node was a little bit more difficult because we had so much burst damage, and the difference between the levels and the gear is showing up based on that. So we are still not going to heal up. I think I didn't heal at all, but maybe I will replace. I replaced Psylocke with Phoenix, so that that gives us a little bit more space to breathe, because when we use Phoenix special, she spreads her health with the allies, and that will help us a little bit. I was not sure if I was going to take Storm or Psylocke. I kind of like more Psylocke, but I like Storm as well for the speed up and the assists. So I end up with Storm. But I think if we are going to use a raid team, we are not going to use Phoenix because we don't need it. And we'll be using Psylocke. But Psylocke, she needs some kind of update or upgrade or something like that. Right now she is not as reliable as she should be. Supposedly we are getting more mutants next month, maybe, or the month after. So maybe by that time we'll get some update on Psylocke, because yeah, she is really not there. She has very low synergy with the team, and her abilities are very, very outdated for a character that is not exactly old. So yeah, we could use the ultimate here, and if we had the T4, we would apply regenerate to everyone, which would be very useful. We did not do that. We rather go for the flipping of the buffs. Now we taunt with Colossus. He uses all the deflects. Unfortunately, he doesn't have defense up, but we need to give him defense up. Otherwise, he's not that tanky. With Storm, if she is charged, you need to think exactly where you are attacking. Otherwise, you might be wasting adjacent damage from the enemy. So that's something you have to consider. When you have a tank like Juggernaut or Colossus or something like that, you target him, use Cyclops special, so he applies taunt on other targets that might be more useful to target instead of targeting the tank. And yeah, like the team is pretty healthy. We are just doing basics and specials with just basics and ultimates with Phoenix. So we are not using Phoenix to the full potential. We'll only be doing that on the last node, on the boss node. But the team so far doing pretty well. Is Phoenix better than Psylocke for these situations? I don't think so. I think Psylocke provides a lot more because of the counters, because of the dodges and so on. It's just so much value that she provides with her passive. It's just that everything else about her kit is not great. And Phoenix, because she's gear tier 14 and the 7 yellow stars and so on. Just when you do her special, she heals up the other one so much that it's a huge difference. Okay, so now even with defense down, she will not die, and then Beast is going to heal her up and so on, so that's not a huge deal. Here I use the ultimate from Beast. It was early in the node, and this node can be a little bit tricky, especially when Magneto shows up, so we need to get rid of him. But with all those offense subs and assists and so on, we were able to do it easily. We still have Mystique there, and that's very dangerous as always. Mystique and Loki are very scary characters because they can one-shot one of your characters. So there, I think Colossus attacked Cyclops, but if it was Phoenix, she would probably kill him, which is a pain in the anus, but we have to deal with it. Okay, so 3 characters left. Beast flipping the taunt, which is very useful. Even if he would flip the defense up, it would be very useful. So either way, we benefited a lot from it. And now with only 3 characters left, we have 3 minutes left. So not only this team is very efficient and with a lot of not only team synergies, but also mechanic synergies with all the assists and so on, benefiting everyone so much. So yeah, the team works great, and they are pretty healthy at this point in time after doing so many nodes, and it keeps on giving. So yeah, we have the final node now. Then we'll go to a conclusion. Should we consider this team for the Greek raids? Especially, I think it's the beta one where we need to use mutants, and the gamma one where you need to use X-Men. On the alpha one, we have many options because it's just global, the restriction, so it's not a huge deal. But for beta and for gamma, it's definitely going to be important to consider this team or the Marauders or something like that for the mutants or X-Men nodes. Okay, so here we are going to use Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, and do some ass kicking with her. So yeah, we have Storm, pretty charged. I would rather use her with the offense up, so let's do that. Unfortunately, Cyclops ultimate still didn't have energy, and this is a big problem with this team, is that it has no energy source apart from Beast's ultimate, and it's only 1 energy. If it was 2 energy, it would make a difference, but 1 energy on a 6 on a 6 energy cooldown, it's not great. So yeah, Storm did 200,000 damage with her ultimate, I think, which is pretty nice. We were able to get rid of plenty of those pesky enemies. Now, like I said, we spread the taunt from 1 tank to other more crucial characters. It's luck based, but sometimes we are lucky, and 2 out of 8, it's 2 out of 7. It's a pretty good chance that we will target 1 character that is useful to kill early. Okay, so still Phoenix didn't die. We need to get rid of the War Machine because he's applying taunt to everyone who shouldn't have taunt, like Beast, Storm and Cyclops. We were lucky, and the Trooper decided to attack Colossus instead of Phoenix and Beast. But we still want Phoenix to die today. So please do that. Okay, we flipped the taunt on Crossbones, very useful. We got the assist from Colossus. And unfortunately, Beast died, and yeah, we knew that it was coming. Then Cyclops with the ultimate, getting rid of most enemies. And now, come on, Phoenix, can you die already? It would be so easy if she would die. Okay, she finally died, and then we have the matchup Phoenix against Captain Marvel, and of course Phoenix wins. Phoenix is so much better. Even the movies were better. So yeah guys, now it's conclusion time. Is this team good for raids? Depend on which raids are we talking about. Are we talking about Ultimo 7? Well, the answer is no. This team is not good enough for Ultimo 7 because it doesn't have a constant source of defense up. It doesn't have a constant source of offense down to the enemies. It doesn't have a constant source of energy that is very needed for a Cyclops and a Storm. But with all that in mind, are we going to be able to use this team on specific nodes on Ultimo 7, like the fourth boss, the last boss, and the third boss that are very hard? Yeah, we'll definitely be able to use this team there, and the team will be very reliable for sure. We can charge up Storm early on the first two nodes of Ultimo 7, and then we can throw everything at one of those bosses, and then we can still use Black Order to clear another of those bosses, and that will allow us to reach the 100% on Ultimo 7 very, very easily. So for Ultimo 7, not really, apart from specific nodes. Now, in terms of the Greek raids, and specifically the Beta raid and the Gamma raid, for the Gamma raid, we have to use Mercenaries, Guardians, or X-Men. I think at this point in time, the X-Men will be the best option out of those three. The Guardians are okay, but they are not 100% reliable, especially for the last boss. And I'm actually saying wrong. You need to use the Brotherhood, the X-Men, or the Mercenaries. And yeah, the Brotherhood is even worse for the Gamma raids. You can use a few members like the Blob, like Magneto and Mystique and so on, but they are not a full team. And at this point in time, the X-Men are definitely the best option for the Gamma raids. And once again, this is going to be very important when the difficulty selector for the Greek raids will come around. And in terms of the Beta raids, you can use a few of the X-Men members, but right now I'm using the Marauders for raiding, and in my opinion the Marauders are just way superior than the X-Men at this point in time. So yeah guys, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. You smash that like button like a true X-Man, and if you like the video, share it with your friends on Discord, Facebook, and so on. And if you're new to my channel and you are part of the 60% of my viewers that are not subscribed, I hope you consider subscribing. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.